Hello logical thinkers. Today we are going to see a problem how to convert a negative number to a positive number. The problem looks simple, but let me tell you how we can implement the approach and use that approach in a Java program. So in real life what you will do, if you are given a negative number minus 45, you will convert it into a positive number by either removing this sign, which will give you a positive number, or else you will place a vertical line in the minus sign which becomes a plus sign, and you will get a positive number plus 45. That is one approach, but this cannot be implemented in the Java program. So the second approach which we can follow is we have to look into a basic multiplication law. Plus into plus will give you plus. Plus into minus will give you minus. Minus into plus will give you minus. Minus into minus will give you plus. Here we are concentrated on this particular law because you will be given a negative number, for example minus 45, and our approach is to convert it into a positive number. So how we can do it? Using this law. This minus is this minus, and if I multiply the entire number with another minus, so this minus comes into picture. So now what will happen? This 45 will come in the output, and as per this law, minus into minus, that is minus into minus will give you plus. As a result, minus into minus will give you plus. So this is the output, that is the required output. This is second approach, but there might be a drawback in this approach. The reason is we are believing that every time the input will be a negative number. Sometimes the user might give a positive number, right? So if he gives a positive number as an input, every time we are multiplying it with a negative sign. So now what will happen? The output will be 45, but minus into plus. So this particular category will be involved, and the result will be minus. So minus into plus, as you see here, minus into plus will give you negative. So in the output you will get negative, but this is not the required output, right? Whatever may be sometimes the input might be a positive number and you might getting converted into a negative number. To solve this problem, we have the third approach. What does this third approach use is an inbuilt method. In Java, we have a class called math, and inside math, we have a method called ABS. This ABS method will take one input parameter. It might be a negative parameter nor a positive either a negative or a positive parameter. So, if for example, if you are giving a negative number as the input to this particular ABS method, you will get plus 45. And if you give a positive number as input to this particular method, then also you will get a positive result. So that is the usage of this method. Whatever input you give, it converts it into a positive number. Let me show you the Java program implementing both the approaches. That is the second approach and the third approach. Whichever is feasible for you, you can use that. In the first line, I have the import statement because in the fifth line, I'm using the scanner class, which is part of the util package. And in the third line, I have the class, the name of the class is 177. And in the fourth line, I have the public access modifier, static keyword, void is the return type, that is this particular method will not return anything. And then we have the method name. String args is the array of type string. Args is the name of the array. In the fifth line, what does this particular line is doing is, it is creating an object SC for the class scanner, which is present in the util package. In the sixth line, I am using this scanner object to get the input from the user. We have next int. The reason for having int is I need an integer input. So whatever the user might type, I will be interpreting it as an integer. So I'm getting the input from the user and then I'm storing it in the number variable. In the 7th line, here is the main logic involved. As I told you earlier, I am first assuming that every time I will get a negative number. So minus 45 and then I am multiplying it with minus sign. So this minus sign is this minus sign. So minus into minus is positive. So the end output is plus 45 and that will be stored in the number variable. And in the 8th line, you are printing this particular number. I showed you one exception. The input might be a positive number as well. So plus 45 or minus 45. Now what you will do? You will make use of the math class ABS method. We have an input parameter number. This number can be a negative or a positive number, but the output will always be a positive number. So this is how we can solve this particular problem. These are the two approaches. The first approach is implemented in line number 7 and 8. And the third approach is implemented in the line number 9. You can use any of these two approaches. Thanks for watching, guys.